Hello, everyone, and welcome back to episode 30 of our Journeyman series here on Football Coach College Dynasty. For those who did not watch the previous video, everything went well, with a couple of injury exceptions. But besides that, we are 8-0 to start the season with wins over number 13 Maryland and number 7 Notre Dame. Undefeated in the Mountain West so far, not a single game has been close. And now we are going to close out the season against number 21 Oklahoma, 3 Mountain West games, and then the Mountain West Championship game and beyond. If you missed last episode, highly recommend you watch it. There's some good games in there. Of note, we've had a minor injury crisis where our starting running back Daniel Tucker got injured a couple weeks back. He is out for the season, which is rough because he was on pace to shatter his previous stats, but now he is gone and he wants to declare for the draft. So there is a non-zero chance that that is the last we saw of Daniel Tucker, which is a bit sad. The other bit of injury news is we lost Christian Campbell for a couple weeks, but overall I think we did okay. I have not gotten him the number of passes and run attempts for his player promise yet. He wants 225 total pass and rush attempts. At the moment, he is at a little over 170. So we got to get 80 more of those before the season is out, but that should be fairly simple. And then to make matters even more interesting, are the QB that we brought in when Campbell went down, Philip Cato, also is injured with a concussion. So he's gonna sit down for a bit. My plan still is to redshirt him, unless Campbell gets injured again. Then I rip the red shirt off. But I mean, I don't hate our backup QB Keith Fields. I just he's not ready to be a key contributor on this team. Elsewhere in our players that might be drafted, Jason McDonald is returning to school, which is awesome. Calvin Medina is leaving if he's projected to go in the early rounds, which right now, fourth round is not early. Same with Emmanuel Hayes and Pierce Ray. So I assume all three of these men will be returning. Preston Diallo, it looks like, is the other one that is going to leave no matter what. He is leaning toward the draft as a redshirt sophomore, which is a little bit of a shame because he's a very good wide receiver, already an 87 overall as a redshirt sophomore. So losing him would be very painful. But if we keep Jason McDonald, then all is well in the world. Transfer risks, only 6 players right now want to transfer. 3 of them are our backup corner contingent in Javier Good, Julio Zaragoza, and Derek Watkins. Of the 3, I'm probably going to try to keep one and let the other 2 walk. And then JUCO, Kenneth Allison wants to leave. I'm definitely going to let him go. Same thing with depth O-lineman Bobby Logan, as well as depth running back Lane Olson. So one of these 3 corners I'll try to keep. Uh, Although the argument could be made that I should try to keep potentially 2 of them, since I'm losing all 3 of my top corners after this season to graduation. So, there's not a bad argument that I should keep at least, maybe 2 of these guys for safety. But that is a problem down the line because now we are facing an Oklahoma team that is 5-3 on the season. They lost their first 3 games to open, but I mean, come on, you play number 3 USC, number 6 Georgia, you're excused. And then they've gone on a 5-game winning streak, and their offense looks mighty good. They are number 1 in the country in rush yards per attempt and number 4 in opposing rush yards per attempt. So you can guess what this game's going to look like. Their starting QB is Alexander Yeager, who was there when we played Oklahoma last time. Very solid QB. Doesn't look like he's had that great of a season compared to the last couple, but overall, very good QB. But let's get this party started. We're favored by 14.5 points. We have 6 recruits visiting, only really one of which is a tight race. That's quarterback Aaron O'Connor, that I think is going to become a really, really good quarterback. I don't know how much he'll ever see the field, seeing as we have Philip Cato ahead of him, but we'll see. And then everyone else, we hope that all 5 of these top guys will commit as soon as we win, including 5-star quarterback Ricardo McLeod, who, especially if Preston Diallo goes for the draft, he's going to play as a true freshman. So last time we played Oklahoma was last year, and we won 28-23. And I believe, if memory serves, yeah, that was the game where they did a pretty decent job of stopping my run game, and their QB had 121 yards rushing. So, yeah, that's priority one, is just stopping their run as much as humanly possible, and if they burn us on the passing game, so be it. But they call heads and elect to receive, which is fine by me. And as is our wont, we do a Thunder Smoke Blitz to open, and Emmanuel Haynes gets the sack. See, we're already doing great. Never mind, they got 11 yards back. Blitz on 3rd and 3. Scramble for a 9-yard gain. So it begins. So it begins. 3rd and 2. I'm just going to keep blitzing. One of these days, I'm going to get them. Doing 4 verts from the 12-yard line. Fair enough. All right. I mean, Oklahoma got down pretty easily there. They converted both their 3rd down attempts, averaged 8 yards a rush. That seems pretty good. And immediately, Jesus Kelly fumbles. Fair enough. All right, we need to get a stop. And we do. 3 and out from the defense. Thank you, fellas. Ivan Calhoun, who is now the starting running back since our poor man has been injured. Oh, but we punt nonetheless. 3rd and 9. Thank you, Brock Michael. There we go. They punt. All right, our defense has looked better since the first drive where they got sliced and diced. We convert to 3rd and 8. Thank you, Preston. There's more of those if you want to stay with us. I'm just saying. No. Is that the first sack of the game? Yeah. For Oklahoma, at least. Oh, no. I mean, 3rd and 15, we're just going to chuck it. No dice. We punt. Our offense has gotten nothing going so far, which is less than ideal. They convert the 3rd and 1. Yeah, they're just getting all the 3rd downs that they want, but not that one. And they miss the 51-yard field goal. Okay. I mean, credit to them for trying. And Kyle Matthews picks off Christian Campbell. We are shooting ourselves in the foot today. Yep, they passed it over the middle. Now, I'm not saying that a 4 for 10 for 58 yards and a pick stat line is bad, but it is. So, all right, we're going to need to get something going. At this point, a field goal doesn't really help us, so we have to get in the end zone. There we go. Samuel Pankey, 10-yard run. Thank you, sir. We're at the 5. Oh, boy. There we go. Jared Wells on the slant for a touchdown with 8 seconds left on the clock. Thank you. All right, and we start with the ball in the second half, so we have a chance to tie it up before they even get the ball back. However, that did not come to pass, and we punt. This is why we can't have nice things, people. There we go. Emmanuel Haynes gets the tackle for loss. Thank you, sir. And we're at the 4. Oh, boy. It's going to be a long drive, but that's okay. We need to burn some clock. There we go. Christian Campbell scrambles. Oh, yeah, I need to do the read option a bit more since Campbell is back being healthy. There we go. We got 4 yards when we needed four. Fair enough. 3rd and 6, corner post. Don't let me down. It let me down. Field goal. All right. Diego makes the 46-yarder, so we cut the lead to 4, and they got a 44-yard pass over the middle. Yeah, that tracks, doesn't it? All right. Good news is we held them to a field goal. Bad news is, yeah, we don't really have an answer on defense just because our blitz is getting killed. That's a pretty good calling card for us. 3rd and 3, I'm going to run it. If we don't get it, I'm going for it on 4th down. We got it, so I don't need to worry. All is good. 3rd and 3, same argument. There we go to the 9. And Ivan Calhoun runs it in. All right, tied up 17 apiece. All right, 3rd and 11. Ugh. They converted on the deep curls. That's just frustrating. And they missed the field goal. Wow, okay. All right, so now I think we're going to try to burn as much clock as possible. Now I'm going to turn on shoot clock since we're at the 33. We're going to run the ball a little bit. They're not using their timeouts, which, I mean, fair enough. All right, we're going to call a timeout. And then we are going to just go to special teams. 38-yard field goal. Diego makes it. All right, they have 18 seconds and all of their timeouts. Let's see what they got. 2nd and 10. 3rd and 10. 4th and 10. And that'll do it. We beat Oklahoma. Horrendous clock management by then. They're left with all 3 of their timeouts. Very rarely do I see the AI not use their timeouts, but I mean, they didn't stop the clock at all once we got past like their 30. I expected them to call timeouts immediately, and they just didn't. So I'm a little surprised there. I mean, obviously, if you're Oklahoma, you're kicking yourself. I mean, they forced 2 turnovers. We threw a pick and had a fumble. But I mean, their kicker missed 2 kicks. And I've been there because that's why we lost against Maryland last year. It's when Diego missed 3 kicks in one game. But I mean, we'll take it. Not a great day running the ball. I think Calhoun did well. Panky didn't get a lot of run. Moises just got poured completely. We did a better job stopping Jaeger on the ground, which I think is good, but not Christian's best game. That probably in the arc running for one of his worst. But hey, we got the win. Who might have complained? Now we just hope there are no injuries. Who am I kidding? It's probably going to be one of our top corners just tears his ACL out for the season. That would be my luck, to be fair. Philip Ramsey is out for a week. I mean, that's okay. I'll just drop him all the way down the list. Yeah, like even with an injury, Bobby Logan isn't near the starting group. I mean, he has 60 pass block. Like that's just the reason. Even when he was a recruit, it was a 58, and it just never went up. So I don't know what to tell you. Looks like we had some guys commit, 3 guys commit, and they are some solid, just 3 stars. I think Tristan Muldrow, I might redshirt his first JUCO year, depending on honestly how many D linemen declare for the draft or want to transfer. Colin Houston, I like a lot. And then Carson Simpson's just your classic mid 60s high potential. So I like him. And really, the only recruiting battle that's close was the O'Connor one, and then Damon Taylor. And USC had their visit a while ago, and it went really well. So we definitely need to beat Boise in order to keep ahead of USC. But we'll see how that goes. We're just going to give our best pitches to everyone down here. Not a lot of them want to commit soon, which is slightly worrying, especially the ones that are narrowing their schools still, because then you're like 3 stages away from committing, and there's only 2 weeks left in the regular season after this, so a little bit worried. But in the visit, I mean, yeah, we got 12, 1,300 points from everyone, locked in three. I don't know why, like, Randy Fisher hasn't committed. I guess he wants to honor his Army visit. Fair enough. But shrug, and like why McLeod hasn't committed. Like, no one else is even putting pitches into him. I don't know why he hasn't committed. But I'm not going to question it. All right, let's look at Boise State here. They are 3-6 on the season. Not great. And they just needed overtime to beat New Mexico, one of the worst teams in the game. Air Force, by the way, still undefeated at 9-0 for those keeping track at home. Boise State, oh no. They're one of the worst teams in the country in running the ball, and they're terrible against the pass. I can see where this is going. Starting QB is Bailey Dennis, who they redshirted the first year of JUCO. Good. I like that the AI does this, that they get an extra year of eligibility out of the JUCO guys. I mean, he's pretty accurate, but 6 picks ain't great. I say that. Campbell has. I guess he has 5. Yeah, I'm not too afraid of this Boise State team. I think we're going to work on stopping their passing game and our run game. And do I want to flip Pankey and Myers in the pecking order? I think for this Boise State game, I will, just to give Pankey a little bit extra snaps. But we're projected to win by 40, so this will probably get out of hand quickly. I have 7 recruits visiting, all of them with the exception of Damon Taylor. I am ahead by the thousands, so I'm not too worried. The only time Boise State's beaten Fresno State in this save is the year that their coach got fired, and I was hired and led the team to national championship. And maybe a second one if things go well this season. All right, Boise State wins tails, and they elect to receive. And it didn't look like they're. Oh, that's a shame. That could have been a huge gain. But alas, they go backwards. All right, I think here we're going to go super run heavy. Try to use the zone a lot. The option a lot. Just to get Campbell involved there and then just burn the clock out as much as humanly possible. We just went backwards on 2 straight runs. Not great. We'll attempt the big field goal, and Diego makes it. Good for him. Good for him. Ooh. They converted the 3rd and 11. But not the 3rd and 6. I had such high hope. Calhoun is getting killed right now in the run game. Samuel Pankey gets me 10, 6, 7. Okay. Okay, Samuel. And we have to settle for another field goal. I think if we were playing a better team, I'd be worried, but let's be frank, we're not playing a good football team. That said, looks like they're going to get points here. All right, they get 3. Colton English makes the field goal. Our run game is not good. But they can't stop our pass game, which is why I'm not really worried right now. 3 minutes on the clock. There we go. Preston Diallo back of the end zone. We're finally on the board. Good kickoff return from them, but nothing doing. They punt. We'll just run the clock out. I mean, pretty good first half. Uh, you know, at this point in the Mountain West, we really are just coasting. And that's as Christian Campbell rattles off a 40-yard touchdown run. As I was saying, we're just coasting. And we get the 2-point conversion. Cool. That's the main reason I kind of want to leave Fresno State is just if we don't go undefeated in the conference, it is a massive disappointment. Oh no, their punt returner fumbled. No, Jason McDonald touchdown. Because like the only team that can stack up with us is Air Force, which I think if I do stay in Fresno State past this year, I want to go in and change it. We punt again so that Air Force is our rival and not San Diego State. Because I mean, we're decimating San Diego State every game. Whereas at least Air Force, I mean, they've beaten me twice. Um, and that's something that no other Mountain West team can even say as Johnny Huber gets the big conversion. Thank you, Keith Fields. There we go. Michael Ivey getting involved in the pass game. No dice. Another field goal. I think if we were playing a better team, we'd be getting legitimately punished for having to settle for all these field goals, but no. Devin Allen gets the strip sack. Caleb Hampton recovers. That'll do. A kneel down, please. Please. Kick another field goal for hilarity reasons. All right, so we beat Boise State 34-3. And, I mean, they averaged 2.3 yards a rush and 4 yards a pass. Like, come on. Calhoun had a good game. Moises, again, not great. 13 carries, only 30 yards to show for it. Freaking Abraham Barrett did better, and he's our sixth running back when everyone is healthy. Which is kind of crazy. McDonald quietly was targeted 7 times, only had 4 catches. Only 1 sack on the day by our defense also, and is by depth redshirt freshman Devin Allen. But hey, you can't have 4 sacks every game. So, I'd certainly prefer it. But that's Boise State done and dusted. We move on to our alleged rival, San Diego State. All right, Philip Cato is back from injury, but like I said, he's staying redshirted anyway. And then Philip Ramsey goes back up. I kind of want. How's Brian Savage done? 5 pancakes, 3 sacks. Ramsey 7. I think I'm going to put Ramsey ahead of Brian Savage for at least these next 2 games just to see how he does. But a lot of commits here. 6 players commit. Yeah, and it's all guys that we're not really in tight races for. I think the 2 really exciting ones are defensive line recruit Kyle Sweet. He's a 4-star. His block shed's already an 80. His strength's already a 79. So if he gets like 2 points in those for the next 2 years, he's going to be really, really good. Obviously, you'd like the tackling and IQ to be a bit higher, but for a recruit, that's awesome. And then the second guy I like a lot is Gage Ramsey because he's already really quick, 81 speed. And his coverage ability, I mean, it's in the low 70s, but they're pretty even. And so if those grow, parallel will be pretty good. Tight end Jake Finch. I'm still undecided on whether I want him to be an O lineman or a tight end. I think I'm leaning tight end just because his catching is already a 78, but he's so slow, which is a bit annoying. And then Gabriel Spence is your classic speed demon. Catching isn't going to be that great, but A- potential. Aiden Bell. I'm going to keep him at corner, at safety rather, to hope his tackling gets a pretty good boost. And then Hunter Decker, just, mid 70s in a couple things, linebacker, not bad. So we get 6 commits there. That brings our total commits up to 11. And we are still in the hunt for these 10. We got 12, we got 750 on our visit for Damon. So what that also means is I am going to get every single recruit on my list without spending a single cent in NIL money. We still have all 14 million available. And it's not like we're having a bad class because of it. We're having the number one overall recruit, Juco Riley Neal, the number two overall wide receiver, Ricardo McLeod, coming in, the second best D lineman, 11th overall. Like, we're having an amazing class without having to spend any NIL money, which means we can just go for the big transfer gets to help make our team unstoppable, which is going to be really nice for us. But we have San Diego State. They're 6-4 in the year, 6-1 in conference. They just lost to Kent State. Shout out the old lads. But yeah, I mean, they lost to Utah. I mean, they're not too scary. They're fifth in pass yards per game, 10th in total yards. That's not nothing. Their QB is Landon Herring, the Penn State dude, who I remember because I remember scouting him and I immediately saw his D plus potential, F plus durability. I was like, nope. He's also concussed. So I don't know if they're going to play him or if they're going to turn to Jacob Emerson, their dual threat guy, who could actually give us some trouble with his legs. So I think just in case that, we're going to work on stopping the run and our passing game. So we're projected to win by 19 points in our rivalry game. Also, it should be noted if we beat San Diego State, we get 3.75 million from our silver donor, as well as 3 million from a bronze donor. So almost 7 million on the line in this game. So far in the sim, we are 8-1 against San Diego State, with, again, their only win being the year Fresno State collapsed and their coach got fired. So I think I'm going to change the rivalry if I stay at Fresno State and make Air Force the rival. We win the toss and we'll defer. And I like the idea of it being the rival staying in conference, instead of making an out of conference opponent. Especially because I don't know what that does with the out of conference scheduling. No, they converted on 3rd and 1. And okay. Also, it is Jacob Emerson, the dual threat guy, so that's not nothing. Because I mean, his IQ is horrendous, but he's got 88 accuracy and he's got okay speed. So that definitely is something to keep in mind here. Let's go. I'm just really going to run it until I'm out of the shadow of my own end zone. Which was very quickly, as Ivan Calhoun is just averaging a first down a run. Moises getting involved. Gio Boyle with a big one. Samuel Pankey with 9 yards. Uh-oh. There we go. Moises gets in there. We're on the board. That was a bold call to do engage 8 there, but I liked my chances. I think what I am discovering this season is that our blitz isn't carrying us as much as it did last season. I think losing Bryson really hurt our blitz ability. All right, they make the field goal. So they're on the board. Thank you, Joaquin Wilder, for bailing us out there. 3 straight incompletions would have been very awkward. We don't convert to 3rd and 3. I'm going to be bold and run an option play on 4th and 3. No dice. Pink only got 2 yards. All right. They went for it on 4th and 7 from the 28. Yeah, I mean, to be fair, their kicker is 4 of 8 for in medium kicks. Still, I'm surprised the AI went for it, seeing as it was 4th and 7. But I'm not going to complain as Preston Diallo gets his 37 yards. Thank you, sir. Oh, we got sacked. Not like this. Oh, and Campbell is picked by Warren Gray. Not great. All right, they punt anyway. I'm going to try to go up tempo here to see if we can at least get in field goal range. All right, there we go. We're across midfield. There we go at the 32. Are we just going to be stuck at the 32? Is that my curse? Nope, we're at the 9. And we're in Jason McDonald over the middle. Thank you very much. All right, we're up 14-3 at half, and we get the ball, which is very nice. And we immediately go 3-0. There goes that plan. Thank you, Brock Michael, with the sack. Thank you, sir. Much appreciated. The bubble screen, it didn't work, but it's fine. And Samuel Pankey with the touchdown out of the backfield. Don't see a lot of running backs on my team get rushing touchdowns. And Brock Michael with another tackle for loss. Thank you, sir. Yeah, I think now we're just going to run the ball, hit him with the read option. Slants. Didn't it didn't work. It did not work. I didn't see who got the tackle for loss. Ricardo did. Sweet. All right, they punt. I'm just trying to run the ball quite a bit. I'm going to go for it on 4th and 1 here. And we get it. Thank you, Calhoun. There we go. Pankey gets in the end zone. We're up by 25. The backups are now in on defense. Unfortunate time for me to do an undersmoke blitz to the screen side when they do slants and a pick play to the opposite side. All right. The starters are back. And we punt. All right, it's under 5 minutes, so the backups are back, but there we go. Troy Potter, big man touchdown. Picks off Emerson and returns it 57 yards to the house. Where's my boy? Troy Potter, 6'1", 284, the transfer from Iowa, with the pick 6. That's awesome. That's going on the highlight reel without question. And that's that. All right, we win 35-10. Never really a close game, I would say. I think credit to them. The time of possession was pretty even. But, I mean, overall, our run game had really good success. Again, Moises, the worst of the 3. But he did get his touchdown, which is good. I think Campbell was fine. Again, he threw a pick, which, I'd like if he could get through a game without doing that. But McDonald was targeted 8 times, only had 3 catches, just slightly disconcerting. But obviously, the story of the day is Troy Potter, our big D tackle with a pick 6. I mean, that's just awesome. That's fun. I'm surprised San Diego State's home field is deafening, but that's probably because it's a rivalry game. But alas. All right, 1 commit, and it is the star defensive lineman, Ryan Benson. who already, I mean, 86 block shed is awesome. I need his strength to go up. I need his strength to go up. Speed is already 76. That'll fix itself. A 60, or excuse me, 67. Strength of 63. It's pretty low. And he wants to be a star. So there's a non-zero chance if I try to redshirt him, he will want to transfer after his redshirt year. So he might play, he might not. We'll see. That brings us down to 9 recruits. And it looks like a handful will commit soon. I have a bad feeling that Ricardo McLeod and Riley Neal are not going to commit until signing day. Because I've seen that a couple times with 5-star recruits where they just don't commit early. And I don't really get the logic behind that, but who am I to question such things? Air Force still winning? Air Force is still winning. They're also 11 and 0. I mean, granted, their out of conference games are not nearly as impressive as ours, but I mean, God, the Mountain West must be terrible. I mean, the Air Force has beaten Mountain West teams by 20, 25 points, and then they only beat Ball State by 7, Washington State by 7. Like, they have 123rd ranked strength of schedule. What's mine? 75. Yeah, fair enough. Oh boy. All right, so we're going up against 6-5 UNLV. 6-5 for them is pretty good. They're on pace for the most wins they've ever had in a season. If they lose to us and then like win their bowl game. They've only made 3 bowl games this whole save. Credit to them. New coach? No. All right. Let's see what they done this year. Oh, it's an FCS team, you clowns. I mean, yeah, they got destroyed by Oklahoma State and Air Force. They just crushed Hawaii. San Jose State, I think, has been the worst school this save. Like, they have multiple 0-win seasons. Whatever happened in this 2029 season needs to be studied. Like, that's crazy. This Brock Brine fella, this offensive coordinator, might be the greatest ever. I know he struggled at Rutgers, but I mean, they went 8-5 in 20. Okay. All right, so UNLV, they got a decent offense, all things considered. Pretty good running the ball, not great passing it. Cohen Yarborough is their starting QB. He sat for 4 years, made $1.4 million, and finally made the field. Good for him. I'm not too scared. If that speed's higher, you'd have a good running quarterback too. All right. We'll work on our downfield passing then and stopping their run, as is our want. And if we win this game, we will have gone undefeated in the regular season for our 3rd time at Fresno State. We're projected to win by 27.5 points, and Cody Lodart is the only recruit visiting today. We did lose to UNLV 3 years ago, it must be said, when we were denied an undefeated season by then when they outscored us 17-3 in the second half. I don't want to talk about it. Damian Fisher had like the worst game of his life. Whatever. Let's rock and roll. UNLV calls heads, and it is indeed heads. All right. Terrible return on their kickoff, which is fine. We're just going to blitz, get a nice 3 and out, turn on shoe clock. We're already at the first of all, great punt return from Jared Wells there. And then 2 plays later, Alvin Calhoun runs it into the end zone. So that's pretty good. Hashtagging that. Kyle Stewart. I knew that. Kyle Stewart, our former running back at. He got 4 carries. You happy you left me, buddy? I mean, you made almost $500,000. I can assume you are, but That's still funny to me. Oh, and then Landon Mondestioka with the sack. We have the ball at the 1, but stop. All right, we punt, and they have pretty good field position. Me blitzing that third time was a bit much, probably, but listen, you get confident when you're playing a team like UNLV. Can you blame me? Yes, you can. As Christian Campbell throws a pick six. Christian Campbell's picked by Connor Crawford. It's the 4 CCs of death. What a Christian, buddy. I think that genuinely is one of my big concerns heading into the playoffs. Is Christian has thrown a decent amount of picks. Jason McDonald, though, gets a touchdown. We're back. We're fine. But, man. All right. Campbell is sacked. No dice. We punt. Yeah, they're UNLV is getting nothing offensively. I think we're okay. As long as we don't, like, fumble a punt or have another interception, I think we're okay. There we go. Moises runs it in. We're by Levon. That was a bad time to blitz there. All right, they punt. We're just going to run the ball. Okay, I think pick six aside, we've been doing pretty well. And Jason McDonald takes the slant 44 yards. Yeah, that's that's game. I think just the way that our defense is playing. If we don't score the rest of the way, I think we still win. But now we can just run the ball. And then Giovanni Boyle over the top 40-yard touchdown. We're so back. He says, and then doesn't engage A on 2nd and 7. It's fine. Leonard Gill makes the 51-yarder. Good for you, sir. 30-yard pass to Gio Boyle. How many carries does Calhoun have? 13? Okay. For a moment, I'm like, is our boy injured? That would be very sad. And Edwin Cole gets the sack. They punt. There's Calhoun. We punt again. Cherry Chase with the sack. Now we're getting a decent amount of sacks today, which is good, but how many yards we averaging per run? 5.7. And the backups aren't even in yet. It's still the starters because the cutoff is 24. We're only up by 20. Okay, now the backups are in because it's under 5 minutes as Keith Fields is rudely sacked. But Lane Olson runs it in for the touchdown. That'll do. Thank you. All right, we beat UNLV 42-13, and that means for the third time we have an undefeated regular season here at Fresno State. I think Campbell did really well, except the pick six, which is a pretty glaring issue. Moises Myers had the best game of the season in terms of yards per game and got a touchdown. Also, Pankey, though, 7 carries, 53 yards. Nothing to scoff at. Giovanni Boyle, 7 receptions, 140. McLeod, 590. Essentially the end of list. It's kind of funny. 5 sacks from our defense. We like that. All right. So now, really, the only question is, did Air Force keep their undefeated season also come face to face with us in the Mountain West Championship game? Because that'd be pretty cool. Oh, no. Well, we just lost 2 of our best defensive backs as Davion Sellers goes down. He's out the rest of the season. That's a shame. I mean, he wasn't having a great season compared to last year, but that really hurts. So Unger and Poe are going to take the top reins, and then we're going to see what we got in Eric Barker. And then Evan Foster goes down. with a major head injury. So I think I want Javier ahead of Julio. Yeah, I mean the speed difference is just huge. So Javier's going to get a bit more playing time as well. Julio, man, that hurts. That hurts. All right, we have four commits, including five-star wide receiver Ricardo McLeod, who I plan to play as a true freshman. And then we also get four-star safety Salvador Lane, who is going to be a boss. And he'll redshirt, and then he'll play. He'll probably be on like number one safety after he redshirts, because Davian Sellers will likely go for the draft, and then Unger and Poe will graduate. So two more guys may commit soon. I have a feeling Riley Neal is going to be just waiting until signing day, but that's fun. All right, so yeah, Sellers is out for the season. Oh, looks like yep, Air Force went 12-0. Good, good for them. All right, a couple more commits, including QB prospect Aaron O'Connor, who I like a lot. He's got good IQ, okay accuracy, A minus potential, and then we get A plus tight end Randy Fisher, who I plan to move him to offensive line. That's just my current plan. So we're down to three players that I'm waiting on. Xavier Bone will commit soon, so it's just these two. Alrighty, Air Force, welcome back to the Mountain West Championship game. They are 12-0. They battered Colorado State and Wyoming to finish an undefeated season. Congrats to them. Well done. Yeah, they've had the same head coach the whole time, Preston Harden. I'm surprised he hasn't gotten poached yet. I wonder if he will after this year. But you never know. All right, their QB is still Brennan Dawson, who is really, really good. He's having his best season this year, too. 20 touchdowns, 7 picks. He's also ran for 9 touchdowns. He's a good get. So in that case, we'll work on stopping their run. They're fourth in rush yards per game, crying out loud, and work on our downfield passing game. I'm a little worried with our second best corner and top safety being out the rest of the way. But we'll see how we do. We're projected to win by 14.5 points. We have played each other 10 times. I have played them 7 times. I'm up on them 5-2. So this also continues the streak of one of Air Force or Fresno being in the Mountain West Championship game every year. So this is a game I expect to win. But you never know. I mean, Air Force is a good team. They got a really good quarterback. Anything can happen. That said, Thundersmoke Blitz. Hey, Calvin Medina gets the sack to open. Thank you, sir. Thank you very much. And Edwin Cole with the pick six. The true sophomore arriving. Thank you, sir. We're up 7-0. Oh boy. 3rd and 2, I mean I'm gonna blitz. They don't get anywhere. Thank you, Brock Michael. Thank you, Edwin Cole. Ugh. Nah, I'm going for it. This is risky. I don't care. No, I should care. They got us. Yeah, that was a bit foolish. That was a bit foolish. All right, tied up 7-0. We punt. Yeah, that was a bit. I think I should have done just goal line offense at that point and just sent it. But defense gets a 3-and-out, which is good. Now we're just gonna run the ball, run the ball. All right, we might have to pass the ball here, I think. Y corner, send it. Thank you, Geo boy. My good man. Having the Boyle brothers is a fun little storyline, I think. Edward graduated last year. Gio's graduating this year. Calhoun gets us in the end zone. Thank you, sir. Big sack there. To 3rd and 18. Yee. Thank you, Hugo Patrick. And Eric Barker stepping into the third safety spot with an interception. And Samuel Pankey fumbles. All right. It's a very sloppy game from both teams right now. They ran it outside. Oh, they missed the extra point. What a shame. Gio Boyle gets me 33 yards. Thank you, friend. Thank you very much. First and goal at the 1. QB sneak gets us there. That'll do. I mean, they have 34 seconds in all their timeouts, so I don't want to immediately go to cover 4 quarters. That said, it kind of worked there. Thank you, Medina. I'm going to call timeout here just in case we return the punt for a touchdown. No. All right. Okay. Well, we kind of shot ourselves in the foot there, I think, going forward on 4th and 1. But all in all, we're looking okay. Oh, boy. 4th and 2. Why stick? No dice. Now it's their turn to go for it, and they don't get it either. No one's converting 4th downs today. We're 0-2, they're 0-1. And now Jared Wells has fumbled. Oh, man. Yeah, we're doing, and now another pick. Ramon Knapp with the interception. No one wants to win this football game. And we punt as well. 3 and out for Air Force, and Jared Wells muffs the punt. That is his second fumble on the punt return this season, which means you must be replaced, Jared. Unfortunately for you. Though he's doing so well. I forgive him. It's going to come back to bite me when he fumbles in like the playoff semifinals. All right. They're at the 6. I bet they pass it. I'm going to drop back into zone. And they did, but they got us either way. All right. We have had so far 3 fumbles. Wells has fumbled twice in the same game. Once as a returner, and the other time as a wide receiver. That's actually crazy. Yeah. 4th and 4, we punt. They punt 2. Nothing is happening this game. There we go. I'm not doing 4 verts from the 18-yard line. All right, Moises runs it in. Extra point is good. 8-point game. So they need to get a touchdown and score an extra point, or excuse me, and get a 2-point conversion. They don't, as Javier with another interception. Brennan Dawson, my friend. Not looking too good for him. We punt, though. There we go. Ramon with the sack. Thank you, sir. All right, 4th and 9. They don't convert it, we win. And they don't. Gavin Wren with the pass deflection. Ivan Calhoun just got a 39-yard run because who the heck cares? We'll call it there. And we beat Air Force 28-20 in a game that should not have been that close. I mean, they had 4 turnovers. We had 3. We went a combined 0 for 4 on 4. That was such an ugly game of football. I mean, my God. Campbell, 11-19, 146 yards, no touchdown, no picks. Yuck. Calhoun did really well. Pangy, 13 carries, 30 yards is grim. Moises did better, got a touchdown. I think I'm gonna flip those two back. But man alive. Wells had two fumbles. That's crazy. I mean, defensively, four interceptions is insane. But hey, I mean, both the guys that rose in the depth chart due to the injuries got picks. So it's as good a sign as any. And once again, Fresno State are Mountain West champions. As if you ever had a doubt. All right, we should be top four and get the bye. We're one. Bama lost in the SEC championship game. Wait, recovered from injury. I thought that was season. I'll have to look. Oh no, they beat Kentucky. Oh, it was Ohio State. Ohio State lost to Penn State in Big Ten championship. Well, okay, we're number one in the country. With the 13th offense. Listen, it's fine. It's fine. So wait, Evan Foster is back? I must have misread his injury. I thought he was out for like the season. I misunderstood that. And then Cody Sylvester is also back, which is good because he hasn't played a lot this year. Which is kind of sad because he was on pace to have a pretty decent role, but then he just got wiped out. Just kind of a shame. All right, any commits? No. Man, I wish there was a setting I could turn on where all recruits would commit by like national championship week. That'd be nice. Anywho, here is your playoff bracket. Top four seeds: Fresno State, Bama, Notre Dame, and Penn State all get the bye. 8 and 9, West Virginia against Arizona. Air Force made the playoff. Let's go. And their reward is to face the number one team in talent, Ohio State. Clemson's 11 taking on 5 Georgia, and 10 Kentucky taking on 6 USC. Good luck, Air Force. Godspeed. I hope they win. All right, let's check out awards week. Let's see what awards we're bringing in. Just give me the full results. No one. Bryce Bond gets the Heisman. Really? Oh, yeah, he ended up with more touchdowns than Carter. Man, OSU really fumbled that down the stretch. No one on Defensive Player of the Year, which is a shame. No one for Freshman of the Year, which makes sense. Coach of the Year in the Mountain West. Shout out us. Any tips for recruiting? Yes. Give me one moment to get through the award stuff. So Pierce Rain, Jose Crowder make it first team All American. Thank you, gentlemen. No one on defense made first or second team. Gio Boyle makes it. Colin Hess makes it. Diego Boston makes it a kicker. That'll do. And then third team defense was Diego Boston, a punter. Okay. No defender made any of the All American teams. That's rough. But also not to be completely unexpected. So yeah, no all freshman winners? None. What a shame. All right, so Mountain West, Calhoun, Boyle, McDonald, Ray, Crowder, Hess, Sparks, Boston, Wells. Even with his 2 fumbles, this should not be true. He should not be there. Unger makes it. Knapp. Yeah, our linebackers showed out, which is good. Second team. Campbell made second team. I imagine it's the interceptions. Actually, who got first? It was Dawson. Yeah. White, Fowler, Cody, and Jamison Poe made it. That's cool. Well, we did not get an All American safety, which means we lose the 3 million from that bronze donor. That would have been nice. But I mean, we're getting all the others, and then unless the team runs for like 300 yards against us, we're getting the last bronze. All right, to answer Teddy Jang's question, tips for recruiting. We're late in the season, so I can't like show a lot of specifics. They have added this view recommended targets button at the beginning that will just have a straight list of players that are both interested in your team and players that you're like ahead on. Outside of that, in terms of like who to target, I do a very shotgun thing. Like as you can see, I've I've looked at four linebackers. I got three commits, three D linemen, three O linemen, two tight end, two wide receiver, two running back QB. I go for like each a couple position. Um, if you look at my team, I try to stagger it in terms of how big my recruiting classes are, where 1 year I'll have a class of like, let's say 15 players, keep it small. Next year I'll try to go like 25 just to stagger it a bit. So like I'm only losing 17 players this year. Next year though I'm going to be losing a bit more, and then obviously I have 32 freshmen right now to try to keep it a bigger group. Um, my other general advice would be like potential is king, is what I have found. Like, even though, let me find a good example. Like this guy, Peter Phelps. He is a 63 overall. His run block is terrible. It's a 59. But he's got a potential. So, assuming he redshirts, which he will, I'm going to get two development hits with a potential where his run block could go up by like 10 points total. Now I'm looking at, 69 run block, like 73 pass block, 75 strength before he even sees the field. Let me see if I can find an actual example of that happening from my team. Pierce Ray, what was your overall as let's see, it was B minus. Eric White, what were you? Yeah, so here's a good example. So Eric White was 65 overall, A minus potential, and he had 61 pass block as a recruit. By the end of his redshirt year, he was all the way up to 73 pass block, 85 run block. His run block exploded. And that's without his strength really going up much at all. But potential goes up, gets a big boost. And now, his redshirt sophomore season, he's an 81 overall guy. Really good strength, really good run block, pass block. Just started to play this game, keep losing to other schools when it comes to recruiting. Yeah, that'll happen. A lot. In this game, I would say 90% of the time. Actually, let me get a sort by recruit rating. Thank you. So, what I do is if I'm at, like, let's say a mid, level school with not a lot of level, I wouldn't even try going after 5 or 4 stars. Because you can kind of see here, 5 stars, I mean, almost all of them are going to like Bama or Ohio State. Then I have a little guy in here just for hilarity's sake. 5 star, 4 stars, I would essentially ignore, especially if you're at a low level school. And then the other thing that's going to be your saving grace. Let me see. Do I have any of the California kids left? Yeah. So, what I would do is, depending on obviously where your school is, proximity to home is going to be what might tip the scale in your favor in a recruiting race. Because if you're going after a guy that really cares about proximity to home and he's the same state as you, that can get you a lot more interest, and you might be able to get him as opposed to a different school. When to go to JUCO instead of freshman? I don't have a great answer to that. My answer for that would be if you know you're gonna lose. Like for example, I'm losing let's see, corner's a good example. I'm losing 3 corners this year. So I'm losing Sean Cody, Gavin Wren, and Evan Foster. And then I have 3 guys down here that all want to transfer. So let's say doomsday scenario, these 3 graduate. I can't convince these 3 to stay. My only remaining corner that got playing time is one guy, Ramon Knapp. In that case, I already know that when I start recruiting, I'm going to look for a JUCO corner that I know will be ready to play immediately so that I don't have to go for like multiple transfer corners or something. I can just get a JUCO guy to play immediately. Whereas, let's say, wide receiver, I have very good depth of wide receiver. I have a couple redshirt sophomores that are playing a lot. I have some redshirt freshmen with really high potential that I think will need playing time next year. I don't really want to bring in a JUCO guy when I have all these guys that are ready to step up and get a lot of playing time. So for JUCO versus recruit, I usually go JUCO if I know that I'm going to be losing a lot of guys at the position and I need someone to step in right away. That's also what I did at QB when I recruited my current QB, Christian Campbell, 2 years ago when I knew I was losing my star QB. And I was like, hey, I need somebody in the door. And then I got Christian. Though that said, I'm also going to be cutting Christian after this year so I can play my 5-star shiny QB. But we ignore that. Yeah, that's what I would say with JUCO versus freshman recruits. Speaking of recruit, I need to give these guys all pitches. My other final thing with recruiting is with NIL money. I got all of these recruits right now, 18 commits, without spending a single cent in NIL. Like I've spent no money. Obviously, at a smaller school, you're going to need to spend some money to win some of those races to get guys in. But don't feel like you have to spend a lot of money. Um, I usually spend NIL money when the recruiting visits are getting done and I can tell that, I'm 500 points away on this recruit, even if I do my best pitch, then I might offer some money. But I'm typically a person that saves a lot of their money for transfers, especially because I don't know, Teddy, if you've ran into this in the transfer portal, but if you don't offer a transfer player their like minimum market value, then you will take a points hit. I think it's like six. I have it set to 600. The default, I think, is 1,200. If you don't offer them that money, so I would always save money in the old transfer portal. Oh, we got 2 commits. Damon Taylor comes in. Thank you, sir. Welcome to the party. And Xavier Bowen. So Xavier Bowen, to just circle back really quick to the previous JUCO recruit question. So Xavier Bowen, I mean, he has a 70 overall and A potential. He's a guy that, if worse comes to worse, he could play next year, and I would be okay with it. His speed's already okay with a 79. His man coverage is fine with a 77. His tackling, though, and his zone coverage are not so great, and his IQ is a 55. So he's a good enough recruit where if he has to play like, 10, 15% of snaps, it's not the end of the world, but if he had to start, we might be in trouble. You're just never going to commit Riley. You say you will, you're never going to. Just going to have to accept that. All right. So, OSU killed Air Force. Boring. How dare they? No upsets in the first round. What a miserable first round. All right. So we have Arizona to open the playoffs, and they're in the Pac-10 in this database. And their only losses are to Arizona State and Oregon State. They won the Pac-10. They obviously just beat West Virginia. Ooh, they are number 1 in the country in sacks. It's a little bit scary. They're not so good at running the ball, much better at passing. Who is your QB, Arizona? Oh no, their starting QB is hurt. All right, who is your backup QB, Arizona? Anderson Dukes. Wow. I mean, he's only played 9 games, but still 60% completion, 600 yards, 10. Okay. Okay, their backup QB is. Ooh. Well, he has a cannon. His IQ is bad, but he has a cannon. So in that case, let's work on defending. Let's work on our passing game and defending their passing game. And then, fingers crossed. So let's rock and roll. We're favored by 9.5 points. This is the first time that Fresno State and Arizona have played each other in this save. Let us flip the coin. All right, they receive, which is fine by me. And as we do on every first defensive play, Thunder Smoke Blitz, send it. Pass deflection, we're fine. We're fine. I forgot to check. I don't think Anderson Dukes can run, can he? No. Okay. So I'm not worried about their QB running, which is really good. Campbell getting sacked on the second play is less good. There we go, 25-yard pass. My other unsolicited piece of advice with someone starting out with the game is what I have found, like when I did a different save with Hawaii, it's a terrible team. An equalizer in going up against bigger schools, as we just got sacked 3 times in one drive. This is going to be fun. An equalizer going up against like average teams or teams in your conference is to just turn the pace to 2 clock and just try to run the ball as much as you can to burn a lot of time, especially if you have a bad defense. Like, you don't want them on the field that much. So just run the ball, 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 run the ball. Which, as you can see here, is working so far as Christian Campbell runs it in on the option. We draw first blood. 3rd and 1. I know you're in the spread, but I still want to blitz you all the same. No, they ran it anyway. How dare they? Rude. All right, they punt. Our defense is doing really well. Our offense just needs to not turn it over and or get sacked 13 times, which right now I think is the actual pace that we're on. But I think now, yeah, our offense is just so much better than their defense. Because right now we're getting 5 yards a run and 10 yards a pass. So our offense is having little problem with them as Ivan Calhoun gets me 38 yards. Thank you, sir. That'll do. And the vertical's over the top, 21-0. Yep. I think barring a second half comeback of insane proportion, this game should be ours. I think now we're just going to kind of run the clock out. A little draw play even. It worked. All right, now we're just going to kind of run the ball, run the ball, run the ball, run the ball, run the ball. All right, field goal it is. Calvin Medina gets a sack. So since that first drive, they have not sacked us at all, which is pretty good. Now it's just a question of how many points will we win by, and will I be able to get to 40? Abraham Barrett runs it in for the touchdown as the backups came in for that one play. That's hilarious. But the backups are now in on defense, and it definitely shows as they just ran down the field to score there. But We'll see how our guys do. Hey, the engage 8 worked. Thank you, Devin Allen. They punt. They're calling timeouts down 24. I respect it. Don't know why they would be doing so, but you know what? I'm not going to question it. And there we go. All right. And we beat Arizona 31-7. It was never really close. I think they gave us a bit of scare in the beginning just based on how often they sacked me. But, I mean, Campbell was 15 of 17, 187 yards, got a touchdown. Fields was 4 for 4. That's when you know their defense was Swiss cheese. All of our running backs had good days. Even Barrett got a touchdown in there. Gio Boyle got 103 yards. Domination. And that's what it should be. Realistically, like there's only a couple teams in the country that should give us a fight in the playoffs, and we are about to face one of them, assuming Ohio State won their game. Hi, Daniel Tucker is back from his severe injury. Oh boy. Okay. So earlier in the season, as Tucker's now back, and I think I'm going to make him my number 2 running back and keep Calhoun number 1 because Calhoun has been white hot recently. So earlier on in the season, I said the one team I really want to face is Ohio State because they are number 1 in the country in offensive and defensive talent, and that just sounds fun. They're 131st in sacks and 1 of 6 in sacks allowed. So their D line and O line aren't great. Their running game isn't great either. Interesting. So far this season, their only loss was in the conference championship game in the Big Ten, but they lost to Penn State, and that meant they had to play in the first round of the playoff for like probably the first time this year. Imagine being Ohio State. Who's your out of conference scheduling? South Carolina, FIU, and Southern Miss. Silliness. Silliness, I say. All right, Carter Menard, who I'm surprised didn't win the Heisman, 5,100 yards, 38 touchdowns, 10 picks. Yep. This is also one thing I wish the AI wouldn't do. They played him as their backup QB his true freshman year, but like he only threw 18 passes, and they just burned a year of eligibility for him. So I wish the AI wouldn't mess around with that so much. Looks like their running back room is solid, but I'm here for their defense. Yep, Wyatt Roy looks pretty good, huh? 77 tackles, 19 tackles for loss. Fair enough. Their linebacker room also is really good. Yep. All right. I am of the opinion as, let's see, Notre Dame beat Georgia and USC. USC beat Bama, so Bama goes down in the playoff quarterfinal. Could the Bama job be open? Eh? 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 But my theory was it would be open after last year, but it wasn't. I'm of the opinion whoever wins this game is going to win the whole thing. It's going to be us or Ohio State. Like, whoever wins, we're so much better than USC. I've beaten Notre Dame already this season. This is probably going to be the greatest game I've played in the sim. Because even last year on our playoff run, like the Tennessee team was good. That Tennessee team has nothing on this Ohio State team. So, here we are as Daniel Tucker comes back for one last ride, which is kind of funny. Oh boy. Riley Neal may commit soon, and the last week to commit is national championship week. So if he doesn't commit this week, he's waiting till signing day. Practice focus. I mean, we're definitely going to work on stopping their pass, and I think our run game with Daniel Tucker coming back is going to be our one. But here we go. Semifinal against Ohio State. It's a pick'em game. Oh boy, this is going to be a game. This is going to be a game. We've only played each other once before, and that was in 2028 when I scheduled them. And as you can tell, it was not a close game because they beat us 58-10. It was a single away game, and I was like, you know what? Let's get some money, and we got demolished, demolished. But let's see how we do as the two teams meet in the playoff. OSU calls heads, and it's tails, you fools. We will defer. We will defer, then we will pray. I even saw they were in empty, and I'm like, I really should blitz, but I can't break the spell. 3rd and 5, field goal for OSU after that big play. Can Maynard run? Yes, they've added a run game to his repertoire this year. That's cool. That's neat, as they say. Alvin Cahoon just went backwards. Oh boy. 3 and out for us. Okay. I mean that is something I said where like our defenses are just so good. It might be whoever gets like 2 touchdowns wins this thing. Calhoun gets me 15. Thank you, sir. And Daniel Tucker, his first run since coming back from injury, 0 yards. I'll punt. Oh boy. OSU is driving, but they fumble. Javier forces. Jameson recovers. Okay. Well done from our defense. Now our offense just needs to get something. Nope, we punched. All right. Oh boy. I saw that spread flex. They ran it off the spread flex and still didn't get it. All right. All right. We were across midfield for the first time this game, and it's the second quarter. Big 3rd-9 conversion, Geo Boyle. Thank you, sir. All right, here we go. We're at the 17. We need to get in the end zone. Need to get in the end zone. There we go. 13-yard pass to Diallo, and Moises runs it in for the touchdown. We're up 7-3. Good call to blitz there as they did a bubble screen and Ramon blew it up. All right, they punt, but we have the ball at the 1, and Calhoun is tackled for a safety. Oh, nah. Miss out for a field goal. All right. Well, that happened. 8-7, the current score. Dang. Our offense just died. Ooh. I mean, we have the ball now with some pretty good field position as Jared Wells got an 8-yard return. Let's see if we can get a field goal out of this. Eh? Oh. That sack there really hurt, didn't it? There we go. To the 22. Let's kick the field goal. Boston makes it. Okay. We're up at half 8-10. Yeesh. Oh, Campbell gets blown up on the option there. We convert the 3rd and 3. Thank you, Joaquin. The run game is not looking too good. We punt. And OSU is driving. Then Brock Michael with the sack. And they punt. Okay. Duh. 4th and 3, we're punting again. This is such a defensive masterclass. Jerry Chase with the sack. They got the 3rd and 8. That's big. Dang. All right. Yep, they got it. They're up by 5 and 3 straight incompletions. Oh boy, oh boy. Okay, they punt. Okay. We're looking okay. The offense is moving. The offense is shaking. We're at the 1. Wow. Unbelievable. We had first and goal at the 1. -1 yard rush, -2 yard rush, 0 yard rush. I'm going to go for it. My argument being a field goal here, we cut it to 2. Eh. And if we don't get it, they have a really bad field position and we could even get a safety. So we get the touchdown. Jared Wells off the slant. Thank you, sir. We don't get the 2-pointer, though. So we're only up by 1. They convert the 3rd and 10. And they scored. They averaged like a first down a pass after that. All right. Okay. Chew clock is coming off. Big 34 yards there for Geo. Oh, boy. 4th and 16. We need a conversion, and all the deep passes are nerfed. Well, here's the situation, folks. If we don't convert this, we lose. If we convert it, we have a chance. 4th and 16, play action boot. No dice. He threw it 3 yards. Oh, that's funny. They went for it on 4th and 3 and didn't get it. Never mind. We have life. We have life. They went for it and didn't get it. Not only that, they threw an incompletion, so it stopped the clock. Okay. Okay. We have 42 seconds to get in that end zone. Let's rock and roll. Let's do this. We also have no timeouts because I'm of the opinion that timeouts are overrated, really. There we go. We're at the 35. Deep passes are back. Incomplete. 2nd and 10. Incomplete again. Deep passes are nerfed. And okay, now I'll try medium pass. Oh boy. Nope. No dice. We fall to Ohio State 23-16. That's disappointing. I mean, look, we're the best 2 teams in the country without question, and just we couldn't get a run game going whatsoever. I think that was the primary issue, and yeah, Manor just played a better game than us. Our defense got torched a little bit. I think I saw. Yeah, I mean they had 2 plays of 20 plus yards, 2 plays of 40 plus yards. So we just gave up the really, really big plays, and they outscored us 15-6 in the second half. That's a shame. I mean, look, you lose in the playoff semifinal after winning a national championship. I think most programs would take that, but disappointing. I think the 2 reasons we lost is lack of run game and big plays given up on defense. So disappointing way to end the season, I think. But I mean, us and Ohio State were the best 2 teams in the country, and this time around they took it. Maybe next time around we'll get them. Who knows? Cody Sylvester also picked up another injury, which is a shame. We did get Riley Neal. He did commit. So we get the 5-star JUCO linebacker who is a god and going to play immediately and be phenomenal. So that means all recruits have committed. 21 players. That will do. Poor Cody. He got injured again. Man. Yeah, I mean, that hurts. And then on the other side, USC beat Notre Dame. So USC and Ohio State in the final. We are rooting for Ohio State so that we can say we lost to the champions. And USC won 31-30 as they outscored OSU 21-3 in the second half. Show me the log. OSU, oh no. USC returned a fumble for a touchdown. They had another long drive for a touchdown. Then OSU's offense just died. Why couldn't your offense be this bad against me? Hmm? 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 He threw 62 passes. My God. All right, yearly summary. We finished ranked 2 in the top teams. USC obviously takes number 1. Ohio State is 3. Um, I would say the season's a success. I mean, my goal every year at Fresno State after the first year was essentially win the Mountain West and make the playoff. And we have done that every year, except the first year, obviously, when we won our conference and had a bowl game. But yeah, I mean, this is the second furthest we've ever made it in the playoff. We've made it to the quarterfinals 3 straight years, and then obviously won the whole thing last year. This year we lost in the semis, but amazing success, I think. Um, Fan base still is maxed out, and we kept our promise to Christian Campbell, so our integrity goes up to an 84%. That'll do. Um, I'm not going to change any of the preferred schemes. I think we're still going to be a pistol sort of offense, run first style, definitely. All that's fine. Um, do I want to swap any skill badges? I don't think so. The only one I'm debating is skill players get +2 catching and route running in games over speed on deep pass plays. I think I will actually. I'll make that switch. So we get receiver fundamentals, we lose blast off. I think that's a better trade, I think. All right, offensive coordinator levels up. I'll just put points into his recruiting. Good old Caleb Monroe, who this is our third year with him as our offensive coordinator. And then Christian Pi, who will get points into training. This is our first year with him as defensive coordinator. And overall, I think they're both pretty good. So let's advance. Okay. Now, here's a situation where I think we need to have a conversation. My contract is currently expired. So if I want to, I hit the open market, I become essentially a free agent, and I'm able to sign wherever I please. At the moment, Fresno State is willing to negotiate a plethora of contracts. In terms of leaving or not, I think this is a good time to leave in the sense that Fresno State's in very good hands after me. They have a choice of whether they want Campbell to be the starting next year or if they want to go immediately to Phillip. Running back, the succession plan is clear as day, I think. Wide receiver, they're set. Things might get a little rocky after maybe next season, but other than that, they're good. O line is looking great. D line is looking great. Linebacker is good. Here's my concern, And this is really kind of my own fault, is I don't want to run into a situation because right now I can't see other schools that have openings. There's no way for me to see it. So I don't really want to run into a situation where I leave Fresno State and the best job available is, let's say, like, an 8-5 Tennessee job, right? Because I would rather, I think, be able to look and choose what team I want to go to rather than just be kind of left in the wind. Um, so to that end, I think I will negotiate. I don't want to do the 4-year coach lock because I do want the ability to leave after next season if I want to, I think. On the other hand, do we kind of spice things up? Do we just jump in the deep end and see what we got? Part of me wants to. The other part of me looks at like my linebacker core and you're like, really? You wanna leave like Edwin Cole and Hugo Patrick, see what they got? I think I'm gonna stick around. I think I'm gonna stick around. The 2-year coach lock would mean I'm here for at least 2 more years, which I don't know if I really want. Yeah, I'll take the 5-year deal. That way I can leave after next year if I want to. Let me also renegotiate with Caleb Monroe to keep him. So that's done. All right, we're staying in Fresno State. Confirmed. Confirmed. Caleb Monroe is staying as we just negotiated his contract, and Christian Piai is staying. So we keep our coordinators. I think we stay. Looks like so jobs that were open, the USC job was open. They just won and their head coach job was open? Where did you go? They're in the Big Ten? Or no, they're not. They're in the. Maybe he retired. He must have retired. What a world. SEC. Yeah, I mean there weren't really any good SEC jobs available. Big Ten USC, but they just won it. Yeah, yeah. I think that was the right decision to stay. Really, like these were the jobs that were available essentially. So I think I made the right call timing wise. Yep, there we go. Yeah, Abram retired. Good for you, buddy. Good for you. All right, first things first, let's check the coaching carousel really quick. So Oscar Stahl finished this season at Kent State. They went 9-5 and won their bowl game against Tulsa. They won 30-7, but they lost the MAC championship game against Northern Illinois, which I'm going to be honest is a little disappointing. But so Oscar's still doing great at Kent State. Frank Keller, his first year at Virginia Tech, they went 7-6, won a bowl game. Good for them. They played Notre Dame close, and they beat UConn 29-3. All right. All right, Ephraim's off to a good start at Virginia Tech. Chase Rodriguez went 2-10 at North Texas, and at the moment still has a job. I'm not going to pretend to know how he does have a job, but he still has a job. So Looks like Efrain's going to do well at Virginia Tech. We know Oscar is going to do good at Kent State. So the coach tree grows. Hayden Madrano is still at ULM and not doing very well. He's such a bad defensive coordinator. He got an extension too. Whatever. All right, players leaving. So Daniel Tucker is gone. He is declaring for the draft. I cannot convince him to stay. Um, I think Tucker was a good running back, but I think it does kind of cement my belief that there's no real value in having a receiving back be your number one or even number two back because you're just not unless you're specifically targeting him. And he was third on my target list. His his redshirt sophomore year in the game plan. And still, they only threw it to him 5 times. Like, they just don't, the QB just doesn't throw running backs the ball. And this year, obviously, he missed half the season due to injury. And I think overall was on pace to have a really good season. But alas, I think definitely a good transfer. Um, even if just for the 1 year in 2032. And this year, still, he did really good. Unfortunate that he came back for OSU and had his worst game of the season, but that is what it is. So Daniel Tucker, we salute. Pierce Ray would like to enter the draft. He is our All-American Mountain West O-lineman of the year. 32 pancakes this year, only 1 sack. I would like to convince him to stay. And I either have to pay him 1.2 million or promise to win the Natty. I think at that point I'll pay him the money and keep him for 1 more year. Because, yeah. Well, it's only 6 integrity. Screw it. We're winning the whole thing. And then Calvin Medina, defensive lineman, who has done really well these past 2 years. Let's see. Yeah, development wise, he's also been really solid. I would like to keep Medina, make all conference. Hmm. So Michael is gone. Landon is gone. So it's going to be between Haynes and Medina for that top spot. I think he can make it. I think he can make all conference. I'll make that promise. So we keep Ray and Medina. Tucker goes to the draft. All right. Graduating seniors, let us begin. No quarterbacks, no running backs. Wide receiver Giovanni Boyle, great receiver, 3,400 yards, 30 touchdowns. Brother of previous Fresno wide receiver Edward Boyle. I mean, really good wide receiver. No complaints. 2-time All American, 3-time All Conference. Great, great wide receiver. Michael Ivy, who originally was a running back that I then moved to wide receiver after his redshirt year, and he never really, did much. All things being equal, I probably should have cut him after last season to let him play elsewhere, but he got a handful of catches, got a touchdown. Depth wide receivers. Tight end. Oh, wait, whoops, I clicked the wrong thing. Tight end, we're losing Jesus Kelly, who didn't do all that much, let's be frank. 432 yards, 2 touchdowns. JUCO guy that, you know, eh, didn't do much this season. Only had 11 catches, was targeted 15 times. Like, eh. Offensive line, we're losing 4 of them. And this is part of the reason why I want to convince Ray to stay, because we're losing both Colin Hess and Jose Crowder. All Americans, multiple all conference guys, almost same level of pancakes between them. Salute. And then depth offensive linemen Brian Savage and Wesley Dawson also leaving. Savage played 31 games in his career, also very good numbers. And then Diego Boston, our kicker, for the past 3 years, multiple kicking awards. All-Americans on the list this year famously missed an extra point in the championship game last season, but we set that aside. Um, wow, we punted not much this year. No, I think Boston's a really good kicker. The missed extra points will always annoy me. Um, but overall, I think he did really, really well. We never attempted that many deep kicks. Didn't attempt many kicks at all this season because we were just getting in the end zone so much. But overall, I mean, Diego, really good kicker, award-winning legend. Going to go in our Ring of Honor, I think. Defensive line, we're losing three guys, all big contributors. Brock Michael, three-team all-conference, 125 tackles, 34 tackles lost, 11 sacks. Landon Montes Dioka, who never really played that much until like last season. I think he was our fifth D lineman. This year, he's all the way up, 51 tackles, 21 tackles for loss, 8 sacks. His development went crazy. Like he went up by 7 overall points, just exploded. Great defensive lineman for this year. Really, really fun kind of experience to see. And then Eli Wynn, who is just, your classic depth dude, always around, good for 20, 30 tackles a year, double digit tackles for a loss once, multiple sacks. This year he just played less. But overall, really, really happy with him and his contributions. Linebacker, this hurts. This is going to hurt. We're losing Ralph Gunn and Ricardo Thompson, two stalwarts at the linebacker position, both projected to go in the first round. Special shout out to Ricardo Thompson, making Mountain West Linebacker of the Year this year. Really, really good linebacker. And kind of the testament to like, listen, if you have A plus potential, the sky is the limit. He ended up with 122 pursuit for crying out loud and 101 tackle. Well, that'll do. Ralph Gunn also was a transfer from USC where he didn't play with me. Definitely played. This was just a bad year for Mountain West linebackers. Like in 2032, this was good enough for second team. But then this year, his stats are worse and he makes first team, which is kind of funny. But happy Ralph Gunn was able to come and help us out. And then Cody Sylvester, who was just depth linebacker his whole career here. Got a handful of tackles for loss. Good guy. Corners, all right, we're losing our top three guys. All of them, multiple all conference winners, picks a bunch. These are three of the four, along with, I think, Leo Coleman, where I recruited all of them the same year, redshirted all of them the same year, and just boom, kept them all on the rise. I think I'm going to miss these three. It's an era of the corner that's just gone now, especially losing Sean Cody is that's really going to sting just from a numbers standpoint. But yep, those are our graduating seniors. We're losing 17 of them. And I would say probably everyone from Boston up, key starter this year, and then Sylvester down to Dawson. Some depth options that we will miss. So a lot of first round projecteds. We'll see how that looks. But now we have to get to the fun stuff, which is what do I do about the QB position now? That is the question, I think. Similarly, what the heck am I going to do about the players that want to leave? First, though, I must drop frames, as always happens on this one. All right, so 6 players want to transfer, and that is the 6 I expected. So, all right, let's take a moment and figure this out. So, running back, I know Lane Olson is gone. Like he is gone. Um, I think I'm fine with Calhoun, Moises, and Samuel for one more year. Part of me also just wants to cut Abraham Barrett as well. Like, the fire truck goes by in the background. Jude Allen. I mean, his speed's at 66. I mean, 9 running backs. It's going to be down to 8. Like, that's too much. My problem is though, if I cut Abraham Barrett, then I am really out of room for like bridge guys. Because then I'm going from Panky down. Yeah, I think I'm fine with that. I think I cut both of them. I dropped to 7 running backs, which is still quite a bit. And then if one of these top 3 guys get injured, we'll figure it out, I think. The thing is, Lane Olson doesn't even want a lot of money, but he's never really going to play, so that's kind of a moot point. QBs, I'm not going to cut anyone except maybe Campbell. I'll do QB last. Wide receiver, um, I think I'm going to cut Elliott Finch, and it's kind of unfair to him because I think he's a decent wide receiver, but realistically, like he's just buried in this list because guys like Adrian Beck and Xavier Bonner, I wanted to play more. Ricardo McLeod, depending on how his overalls, he might play as a true freshman. So I think Finch, we're gonna let go and see what he does elsewhere. Tight end, I'm not cutting anyone. It's going to be Wilder and Davin next season. Randy Fisher is going to go to the O line. Speaking of which, Bobby Logan is gone. And why did I recruit this guy? How? Larry Bell. I mean, see, this is a year I'm kind of worried about offensive line for next year because our potential isn't great. Like Ibrahim Jean, see potential. Logan, see potential. Harry Bell, C, B plus. Like, and I'm really glad I made the promise to Pierce now. I think I'll hold on to Airy for one more year and we'll just see how that shakes out. Um, I am gonna cut Yahir Jeffries because he just hasn't developed how I wanted him to in that short amount of time. So he's gone. Kicker, I'm not cutting anyone. Nathan Locke's going to be our kicker for 4 years. Muhammad Langston's going to be his backup for a few of those. I think, yeah, Locke's our punter too. All right. Defensive line, I don't think I want to cut anyone really. Um, because I assume Tristan Muldrow, I'm probably gonna redshirt his first JUCO year. I think, yeah, I agree. I mean, Troy Potter, he returned a pick six for a touchdown. I can't cut him. He got a pick six for a touchdown. I can't do that. Nah, I don't think I cut any D lineman. Linebacker, I will need to make some cuts here because yes. So Riley Neal, Patrick Cole's our 1, 2, 3. Nicholas Stafford is odds are gonna play. If Lucas Yates were bigger, I'd move him to D line. Um, yes. So Matthew Burke is cut. My Matthew Finley is cut. So that drops me down to 12 linebackers. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then if either Dorian Little or Anthony Carey get a big boost, they can step up. We lose Burke. We lose both Matthews. Matthew Finley and Matthew Burke go. I'm cool with that. Skipping corner for a sec. Let me go to safety here. I'm cutting the walk on, which, feels a bit rude. I think I want to redshirt Lang because then I'm going to lose Unger, Poe, and Barker after next season. So I need these guys at their red shirts. So they all stay. Okay, let's talk corner. Let us talk corner. So I have 6 guys that are within 3 overall of each other. They all have really good potential. I mean, Javier played the most, and he allowed 62% pass completion. Julio allowed 63. And Derek 0 for 3. What's Ramon? Ramon is a man specialist. Javier and Julio are zone, and Derek is man. Reynolds behind him is man. Aldridge man. Yeah, so I think Derek Watkins is gone because we have a lot of guys like him. So I think I keep one of Julio or Javier, or maybe I don't think keeping them both makes sense. So I think it's a question of Javier or Julio, in which case I would prefer Javier. I think I will pay him. I'm going to pay him because there's always a chance that one of these, like 2 of these guys jump him and or I bring in a transfer corner. So I don't want to promise him snaps and take the integrity hit. I'll just pay him. So we lose Julio and Watkins. Julio just never really played for me, which kind of is a shame. So I think that's that. So all 4 of these guys are going to transfer. Now let's talk quarterback. I think. See, here's the thing. Philip is loyal, so he's not going to want to transfer if he doesn't play. On the other hand, there is a non-zero chance that Philip's overall, is as high as Campbell's is now. Because his overall went up by 5 last time. His arm strength went up by 6, accuracy by 2, and IQ by 10. Whereas Campbell, I mean, what we have is what we're going to get. I mean, his arm strength, accuracy, and IQ all only went up by 1. I honestly, hmm, yeah, this is tough. Because I think Campbell is a really, really good quarterback, but he's also pretty turnover prone. He does give us a running ability that I think I didn't utilize to the fullest as I maybe should have this year. And we're doomed if Philip doesn't develop well and I cut Christian, we're in big trouble. I think I'm going to cut Christian. And my argument is based on passing numbers alone. Cato, his arm strength is 3 less, his accuracy is 2 higher, and his IQ is 3 less. I think Philip, in terms of passing, is going to jump Christian. And while Christian has a running ability that is unmatched, I think I kind of want him. I think I want to see what Philip can do and if he can lead us into the future. So I think I'm going to let Christian Campbell go. I will clap him down for his 18 games of service in which he played very, very good football for us. But I think it's time to move on. So that gives me 8 scholarship spots. I think our big needs, O-line, always. Listen, you always need some O-line help. Always. And I need to remember to move Randy Fisher to O line. I'll probably forget. I think we need one O lineman at the top. I think the depth will kind of sort itself out here in the middle, but I think I need somebody in this low 80s range to help out. Kicker, we're good. D line, yeah, I think D line, I'd like one guy up here, like in the high 70s. Because if like Caleb Hampton doesn't develop well, or Eric Tidwell doesn't develop well, then we're really in trouble. Because we're already losing Kenneth Allison, who, to be fair, isn't terrible, but I'm not. I'm not gonna try to keep him around. Linebacker, we're good. I don't really need to touch. We got our top three guys. Nicholas Stafford's gonna play his first JUCO year. Carpenter and Yates can both do the job. We're good. Corner, we need. I need a top corner. I need a top phenomenal corner. Ramon being a number two is fine. Javier can get a little bit of time. And then these four guys are just, they're going to develop however they develop, and we'll go from there. Then safety, we're set. So I only have three positions down and eight scholarship spots. So maybe I don't cut some of these guys. Let me think. Finch, I think cutting him makes sense. No, how did he develop? I mean, his catching went up by 8, speed went by 2. I'll hang on to Finch. I'll hang on to Finch. Tight end, no cuts. O line, I cut. Who you hear? Nah, I think cutting him makes sense. Although, yeah, I think cutting him makes sense just with how our O line looks. D line, I'm not cutting anybody. And then linebacker, I'm cutting Finley and Burke. I mean, Finley honestly isn't bad. His overall is just low because his physical abilities are horrendous. But yeah, he hasn't developed great. I'll keep him. I'll keep Finley around. Odds are he won't play that much next year. Like Dorian Little, Anthony Carey are probably gonna hop him in the depth chart. And then if he wants to transfer, so be it. So that brings me to 79. I think that's more doable. So we're losing to the transfer portal. We're losing Julio Zaragoza, Derek Watkins, a corner, Kenneth Allison at D line, Bobby Logan at O line, Lane Olson at running back. And then I am cutting our starting QB, all conference QB Christian Campbell, because I am insane like that. Running back Abraham Barrett. O line, you hear Jeff Rees, linebacker Matthew Burke, and safety David Battle. So those are the moves. Maybe I don't cut Barrett, but like he hasn't really played all that much. He would be our fourth running back, which that does have some opportunity for playing time. Damon Taylor's going to redshirt, but in all honesty, like, yeah, I'd rather see what one of Allen or Maximus has to offer and let Barrett go. So those are the cuts. Let's advance the week. I do wonder what schools will be interested in Campbell. I mean, he might be one of the highest wide receiver or highest QBs in the transfer portal. Draft results: 9 players from Fresno State were drafted. John Cody, 1-7. Boyle, round 1 pick 10. Gunn, round 22. Ricardo Thompson, round 1, pick 32. Daniel Tucker, round 3, pick 8. I feel like he would go a lot worse because of his injury this season, but sure. Colin Hess, round 3, pick 28. Crowder, round 6. Wren and Foster, round 7. They were listed as UDFAs on the previous screen. They get drafted. Good for them. So, Ring of Honor, Sean Cody, yes, without question. Geo Boyle, definitely. Um, what a lad. Oh, he's already in the Ring of Honor. Cool. And in the Hall of Fame. Dope. Ralph Gunn, I don't think I'll put in the Ring of Honor. Him only really playing for a couple years hurts that. Ricardo Thompson is in the Ring of Honor. Daniel Tucker, no. Colin Hess, also no. He's only there for 2 years. Jose Crowder, and he was a JUCO guy and he did really good this year. I think I'll hold off on Crowder. Gavin Wren, yes. Corner of the year, all Mountain West guy, get him in. And then Evan Foster, I think, was the worst of three, and he also unfortunately had multiple injuries that kind of hurt his time. So I think those will be my Ring of Honor inductees for Fresno State: Thompson, Boyle, Cody, and Wren. All right. So that is where I will end this video. I will do the first transfer week off stream, and we will go from there. Let me do a quick look really fast at the top transfers. Looks like we got a couple of 86 overall guys. Is Campbell the highest QB available? No. He is the 4th. And San Jose State. That could be fun. That could be a lot of fun. Yeah, looks like there are some QB options available. We'll see where all these guys go. I think we have a couple needs: offensive line, defensive line, corner, definitely. But overall, we have a pretty good team locked and loaded for next year. Thank you all for watching. I know it didn't quite end the way we hoped, losing in the semifinal like that to Ohio State, but I think it was a great game nonetheless. That will be that. So I will see you all next time for episode 31, where we will get through the transfer portal in the preseason and see what fate holds us as we will enter year 7 at Fresno State with a nice, shiny new contract to boot. Thank you all for watching. I'll see you next time.